Sai Ram. Chapter 22. Rescue from Serpent-bites. Balasaheb Mirikar, Bapusaheb Buti, Amir Shakkar, Hemadpant Baba's opinion regarding Killing of Serpents. Preliminary. How to meditate on Baba. No one has been able to fathom the nature or the form of Almighty. Even the Vedas and the thousand-tongued Sesha, that is, according to the Hinduism, the earth rests on the head of the serpent Seshnag, who had 1,000 heads, are not able to describe it fully. The devotees also cannot know but only look at the form of the Lord. For they know that his feet are their only refuge. They know no other methods of attaining the supreme goal of life except meditating on the holy feet of Sai Baba. Hemadpant suggests an easy way of devotion and meditation as follows. As the dark fortnight of every month wears out gradually, the moonlight also wanes in some degree, and on the new moon day, we do not see the moon at all. Therefore, when the bright fortnight begins, people are very anxious to see the moon. On the first day of the moon, it is not seen. On the second day, she emerges in a thin crescent. Then the people are asked to see the moon through the opening between the two branches of trees, and when they begin to see through this aperture eagerly, the distant small crescent of the moon comes to their sight. Following this instance, let us see Baba's form. Look at Baba's posture. How fine it is. He is sitting with his legs folded, the right leg held across the left knee. The fingers of his left hand are spread on the right foot. On the toe are spread his two fingers, the index and the middle one. By this posture, Baba seems to say, if you want to see my true form, be egoless and most humble and meditate on my toe through the opening between index and middle fingers, and then you will be able to see my light. Now let us turn to the Baba's life. Shri had become a place of pilgrimage on account of Baba's stay there. People from all quarters began to flock there, and both the rich and the poor began to be benefited in more ways than one. Who can describe Baba's boundless love and his wonderful knowledge and his all pervasiveness? Blessed is he who could experience this. Sometimes Baba observed long silence, which was in this way. His desertion on Brahma at other names at other times, he was pure consciousness, bliss incarnate, surrounded by his devotees. Sometimes he spoke in parables, and other times indulged in wit and humor. At times he was quite calm, and at times he seemed enraged. Sometimes he gave his teachings in a nutshell, at other times he argued at length. Many a times he was very direct. In this way, he gave very varied instructions to many according to their requirements. His life was therefore instructable beyond the ken of our mind, intellect, and speech. Our longing to see his face, to talk with him, and hear his Leelas were never satisfied. Still, we were overflowing with joy. We can gauge the showers of rain, capture the wind in a leather bag, but who can measure his Leelas? Now, we deal here with one aspect of them, that is, how he anticipated or forestalled the calamities of his devotees and warned them in time. Balasaheb Mirikar. a son of Sardar Kakasaheb Mirikar, was Mamlatdar of Kopargaon. He was going on tour to Chitli. On the way to on the way he came to Shirdi, he saw Sai Baba. When he went to the masjid and prostrated himself before Baba, the usual conversation regarding health and other matters commenced when Baba sounded a note of warning. Do not know our Dwarka Mai, or do you know our Dwarka Mai? As Balasaheb did not understand, he kept quiet. Baba continued, this is our Dwarka Mai, where you are sitting. She wards off all dangers and anxieties of the children who sit on her lap. This Masjid Mai, that is the presiding deity, is very merciful. She is the merciful mother of simple devotees, whom she will save in calamities. Once a person sits on her lap, all his troubles are over. He who rests in her shade gets bliss. Then Baba gave him Udi and placed his hand on his head. When Bala Sai was about to depart, he said, do you know the Lamba Baba, long gentleman, that is the serpent? And then, closing the left fist, he brought it under the right elbow and moving his left arm like the hood of a serpent, said, he is so terrible, but what can he do to the children of Dwarka Mai? When the Dwarka Mai, its presiding deity, protects, what can the serpent do? All who were present there were curious to know the meaning of all this and its reference to Mirkar. But none had the courage to ask Baba about this. Then Bala Sahib saluted Baba and left the masjid with Shama. Baba called Shama back and asked him to accompany Bala Sahib and enjoy the Chitali trip. Shama came to Bala Sahib and told him that he would go with him according to Baba's wish. Bala Sahib replied that he need not come, as it would be inconvenient. Shama returned to Baba and told him what Bala Sahib said to him. Baba said, all right, do not go. We should mean well and do well. Whatever is destined to happen will happen. In the meanwhile, Bala Sahib thought over again and calling Shama asked to accompany him. Then Shama went again to Baba and asked, after taking his leave, started with Bala Sahib in the Tonga. They reached Chitali at 9 p.m. and encamped in the Maruti temple. The office people had not come to, so they sat in the temple talking and chit-chatting. Bala Sahib was sitting on a mat reading a newspaper. His upperni, that is, the upper dhotar, was spread across his waist, and on it a snake was sitting unnoticed. It began to move with a hissing sound, which was heard by the peon. He bought a lantern, saw the snake, raised an alarm. Serpent, serpent. Bala Sahib was frightened and began to quiver. Sorry. Shama was also stunned. Then he and others moved quietly and took sticks and clubs in their hands, and the snake got slowly down the waist and moved away from Bala Sahib, and it was immediately done to death. Thus, this calamity, which was prophesied by Baba, was averted, and Bala Sahib's devotion in Baba was confirmed. Bapusaheb Buti. A great astrologer named Bapusaheb Buti, a great astrologer named Nana Sahib English, told Bapusaheb Buti, who was then in Shirdi, today is an inauspicious day for you. There is a danger in your life. This made Bapusaheb restless. When they, as usual, came to masjid, Baba said to Bapusaheb, "What does this Nana say? He foretells death for you? Well, you need not be afraid. Tell him, let us see how death kills." Then, later in the evening, Bapu Sahib went in his brewery for easing himself when he saw a snake. His servant saw it and lifted a stone and to strike at it. Bapu Sahib asked him to get a big stick. But before the servant returned with a stick, the snake was seen moving away and soon disappeared. Bapu Sahib remembered Baba's words of fearlessness. Now, let us see Amir Shakkar's story. Amir Shakkar was a native of village Korhale in Kopargaon district or taluka. He belonged to the butcher caste. He worked as a commission agent in Bandra, that is in Mumbai, and was well known there. He once suffered from rheumatism, which gave him much pain. He then remembered Allah, left his business, and went to Shri and prayed to Baba to relieve him from this malady. Baba then stationed him in the Chavdi. The Chavdi was then a damp, unhealthy place, unfit for such a patient. Any other people or any other place in the village or Korhale itself would have been better for Amir Shakkar. But Baba's word was the command and the chief medicine. Baba did not allow him to come to the masjid, but fixed him in the Chavdi. Every morning and evening, every alternate day, Baba went to the Chavdi in a procession and slept there. So Amir got Baba's contact very often. Amir stayed there for full 9 months and then he got a disgust for the place. So on one night, he stealthily left the place, came to Kopargaon, and he stayed in a dharmashala. There he saw an old dying fakir who asked him for some water. Amir bought him and gave him to him. As soon as he drank it, he passed away. Now Amir was in a fix. He thought that if he went and informed the authorities, he would be held responsible for the death, as he was the first and the sole informant and knew something about it. He repented for his action, that is, leaving Shirdi without Baba's permission, and prayed to Baba. He then determined to return to Shirdi, and same night he retreated, remembering and muttering Baba's name all the way, and reached Shirdi by daybreak and became free from the anxiety. Then he lived in the Chavdi in perfect accordance with Baba's wishes and orders and got himself cured. One night it so happened that Baba cried at midnight, "O Abdul, some devilish creature is dashing against the side of my bed." Abdul came with a lantern, examined Baba's bed, but found nothing. Baba asked him to examine carefully all the place and began to strike the ground with his satka. Seeing this Leela of Baba, Amir thought that Baba might have suspected some serpent there. Amir could know by close contact with Baba the meaning of his words and actions. Baba then saw near Amir's cushion something was moving. He asked Abdul to bring it in the light, and when he saw a serpent coiled up there, moving its head up and down. Thereupon the serpent was immediately beaten to death. Thus Baba gave timely warning and saved Amir's life. Hemadpant, the scorpion and the serpent. The story goes on like this. Number 1. At Baba's recommendation, Kaka Sahib Dikshit was daily reading the two works of Sri Eknath Maharaj, that is, Bhagavad and Bhavartha Ramayana, and Hemadpant had the good fortune to be one of the audience when the reading of the works were going on. Once, when a portion from the Ramayana relating to Hanuman's testing Rama's greatness according to his mother's instruction was being read, all the listeners According, all the listeners were spellbound. Hemant Pant was one of them. A big scorpion, none knew where it came from, jumped and sat on the right shoulder of Hemant Pant, on his upper knee. First, it was not noticed, but as the Lord protects those who are intent on hearing his stories, he casually cast a glance over his right shoulder, and he noticed it. It was dead silent. It was dead silent, not a bit moving here and there. It seemed as if it also enjoyed the reading. Then, by the Lord's grace, Hemant Pant, without disturbing the audience, he took the two ends of his dhotar, folded them, and brought them together, enclosing the scorpion within. Then he went out and threw it in the garden. Number 2. On another occasion, some persons were sitting in the upper floor of Kaka Sahib's Vada. Just before nightfall, where a serpent crept through a hole in the window frame and it sat coiled upon. A light was brought, though it was first dazzled, yet it sat still and moved its head up and down. Then many people rushed there with sticks and cudgels, but as it sat in an awkward place, no blow could be dealt. But hearing the noises of men, the serpent went out hastily through the same hole, and then all the people present were felt relieved. Baba's opinion. One devotee named Muktaram then said that it was good that the poor creature escaped. Hemant Pant challenged him, saying that serpents should better be killed. There was a hot discussion between them, the former contending that serpents and such creatures should not be killed, the latter said they should be killed. As night came on, the discussion came to an end without any decision. But the next day, the question was referred to Baba, and Baba gave his settled opinion as follows. God lives in all beings and creatures, whether they are serpents or scorpions. He is the great wire puller of the world, and all beings, serpents, scorpions, etc., obey his command. Unless he wills it, nobody can harm to others. The world is all dependent on him, and no one is independent. So, we should take pity and love all creatures, leave off killings, and be patient. The Lord is the protector of all. Bow to Shri Sai Baba, peace be to all. If you really like my recitation, please like, share, subscribe, and support my work. Thank you.